Dungeons and Dragons, the best game. The Dungeon Master runs the show. The best scenario you can know, a spontaneous world. We create with big dreams. I use my imagination to receive you in Dragonland. Explore, thinking logically, statistics strategically. My perception is carnival. We can take the first place. Come to the unknown, puzzles and artifacts, realities. I got inspired to become really big. Adventure brings out the creative in me. You must take care and succeed every quest. Level up and be the best. Tell your friends that you gotta come fast. This is so fun, I can barely talk facts. I will take care and succeed at request. You must be the best. Gave me a 20-face
dice
for my 26th birthday.
26th birthday? What?
Good luck killing the monster.
What? Monsters? Oh, I'm down. I'm down. I guess this is a little parody song or parody lyrics that I've done. I did use this Pseudobot, which is AI, which brings us to the question. And the question that I am asking is, how do I copyright AI? I know that a lot of my artist friends and even musician friends that are mixers or DJs have used automation and AI. And this, I think this is just a really good thing for me to watch this morning, because I have used the Sunobot, and she is talking about the Sunobot. And again, if you're watching this, I am doing a react, and I really generally don't like taking other people's content and using on my own, but I am doing the transparency experiment. So with the technology available through Twitch, YouTube, and Restream, I can, watch this, share myself watching it, and do the education thing, do the transparency thing. I didn't ask permission, but I'm learning. I'm watching this, I'm learning, and I'm doing a react. I look at it like Mystery Science Theater 3000. This person is pretty knowledgeable. You can see the certificates on their back. They're known on YouTube as the Music Attorney. So definitely follow the top music attorney, because this is just one short little thing that came out 1 month ago. So this is not new stuff. And I wish I had watched it 2 months ago. But as we move forward into my exploration of the music industry and my intention of being ethical and transparent and exploring and building out a business within the entertainment industrial complex. And so this is where I'm at today. So if you've been watching, or if you've been following along, or if you've been tracking like the robots might be, just gonna switch over and just start listening to the video, and I will stop and make commentary. This is a transparent illusion, where I am studying and showing you my studies, and from time to time I will open up my mouth and share my thoughts. I am gonna cam out because of my perspectives. I don't want to smoke on screen. I do smoke. I'm trying to quit. I was quit for a while, but I'm gonna do a double smoke quit. So this is going to be hard for me, but I'm going to persist until I succeed. So cigarettes and stuff. And as far as the cool graphical interface, I haven't got the rainbow things that everyone has. But I am watching. I hope you are watching. And I hope you get the message that I'm sending, which is be ethical, stay within the legal guidelines. But of course, enjoy your process and enjoy your creativity when you're playing, because we're all children at heart, or hopefully with the new paradigm. So just enjoy life. If I get a copyright warning or notification, I'll definitely take it down. But I think with the legality of 30% screen space and my additional commentary as a reaction or a review, and because this content is, I think, valuable to me and many others out there, I want to promote this person. I want this person, the top, let me just zoom in on it. I did leave a link in the chat. I'm going to leave a link in the description. Let's just put it up in chat real quick. Sorry for the thing there. Music business, right? Because we are let's just show that, because I want people to see that I'm directing people to this channel because I'm getting the great information from this person, and I want to give them credit where credit is due. You can see that is skip to the step-by-step guide. I don't want to do that. I do want to hear the lead up to it, but I'm streaming, so might as well stream what I'm streaming. I'm dream streaming, and I do want to share my perspective from my mind's eye. So let's check it out. Let's see what I'm seeing.
Times, and I did all this additional stuff. Is that going to be enough? Please review what you're putting in these boxes very, very carefully. AI and copyrightability is real murky land. I do AI law, I'm a copyright attorney, and I did a deep dive looking at the Copyright Office's newest report, which is not short, and what I want to do today are two things. One, I want to synthesize where we're at today as far as AI, and if you use AI in the creation of your creative stuff, what does that mean for you and what do you need to know? And then secondly, what I want to do is actually show you how to file a copyright application for your creative thing if you used AI in the process. I'll be sure to time code this video so you can jump to whatever section you want to go to, but it's very important that before you even move forward with trying to file a copyright application, you need to understand how this works so that you do not get into trouble with the Copyright Office. And then I'm going to give
Okay, I might be in trouble with the Copyright Office. I might not. I'm a kid at heart, so I was just exploring the things, and I did attempt to file, but I may have done it wrong. I may be in trouble. I may have a lot of explaining to do, but I'm trying to stay on the cutting edge. So as I peel back the layers, everyone's going to want explanations of what's going on. But this person is way more knowledgeable in law. I'm merely just an entertainer.
some pro tips as far as navigate with your creative process. If you're excited, give this video a big thumbs up and let's jump into it. All right, so the US Copyright...
I want to give her a good big thumbs up, okay? Because she did ask, so I'm going to give it a thumbs up. Next thumbs up will be 1,000 likes. How many views? 12,000 views. But so this is important stuff, I think, because this has to do with laws and copyright and getting the protection and registration. And don't be an idiot like me and do the wrong thing. Just call me Wrong Way Charlie. Anyway, back to the information that I'm learning.
Copyright Office releases this report on copyrightability if you use AI in your creative thing. Now, in our last video, we did look at internationally where different countries are sitting with this, and across the board, everyone generally requires that in order to get copyright, your creative thing has to be human-made. If something is purely made with AI, meaning you just gave it a couple of prompts, AI did all the work, spit out the final thing, you don't have copyright protection, and you certainly are not going to any copyright registrations, which is important because at least here in the US, a copyright registration, as I like to say, blossoms your rights and gives you more rights that you wouldn't otherwise have without actually getting the piece of paper from the federal government. Now, either way, this report has major implications for creators because your registrations can be challenged or canceled if you fail to do this the right way with the application process, including to disclose how you used AI in your creation process. So the general
Okay, this is kind of important to me because I am I have issues with words sometimes. I have like a dyslexia or something. So anyway.
General rule is that when a human, an author, takes an idea and fixes it, so meaning to put it into something like a piece of paper, an MP3, so fixes it to a tangible medium, as the fancy language of the Copyright Act states, you as a creator get automatic copyright protection. But we do know that registering gets you these additional benefits like being able to file a lawsuit, seek reimbursement of your attorney's fees, seek statutory damages. So the report essentially went through and it took feedback from all kinds of industry players, from the music companies to different film builds. We even heard from Adobe, and essentially being like, look, us as the Copyright Office, we're trying to figure out how to allow the integration of AI because, you know what, quite frankly, creators are just using AI. And the feedback that was received was kind of all over the place. You know, we heard from Universal. Universal kind of made me laugh. They were like, using AI is the equivalent of someone going and asking their musician friend to go make me a nice song about love or something like that. And then
My comment is Michael Jackson asked his friend Eddie Van Halen, and he did it against contract with his band. So this is just, to me, is just another layer. But definitely this is important stuff for anyone in the music industry, whether or not you use automation within your mixing tools or a tool like Suno, because it's definitely, important as the year and the years proceed, to remain ethical and stuff.
Claiming that that person is a joint author because they made the request, right? So AKA like how someone on Suno might just input some general directions and then get something brand new created by the AI. And in the report, the Copyright Office went and gave us some really interesting examples. For example, it looked at when the camera, became a thing, and just being like, well, if the rule is that in order to have copyright, it has to be human-made, meaning not made purely by a machine. And the Copyright Office was like, well, we really struggled with the camera because if you just click a button, the picture that is created is wholly made by a machine. The Copyright Office.
Okay, so this is also for me in my study of quantum physics, the observer. So the observer influences reality according to quantum physics. And I've seen this happen. So when we're talking about like a camera and clicking the button, it's the mind's eye, the artist's perspective, which allows this click of a button to capture the moment, the exact moment that the lighting and the wind and everything was just perfect, and click, and there it is. That's my perspective. So I could be wrong, but let's go into this.
Office basically goes, well, we struggled with that. We struggled with computers when they became a thing. And obviously, we found our way through, and so did even the Supreme Court, to find that there is human contribution in, let's say, a picture, because you decide where you put the camera, how you stage the model, how you do your set design, how you do your lighting. And then we were given examples like this and be like, well, someone can give really complicated prompts, right? Doesn't this make you an author if you're like, hey, I need a professional photo with like this super super duper cat in a robe on a Sunday reading a newspaper and smoking. I want it 70 millimeter, cinematic, highly detailed, Basically, the Copyright Office looking at the final output and being like, well, there's so much randomness in the final output because you didn't specify. Well, what breed of cat, right? What's the pose? What's the size? If ultimately the analysis is we need to be able to identify what was the human contribution in the final output. Like, I can't stress this enough when it comes to copyright. The final thing and who created that final thing is so important, even for human collaborators. Because you have disputes all the time where someone's like, I was a joint author because you know what? I hired you to write my screenplay, for example.
Okay, I do want to put this number up because I guess it's considered a feature. Featuring this person, at least today. They're transparent. They put their phone number up.
The final thing and who created that final thing is so important, even for human collaborators, because you have disputes all the time.
And this is really important because collaborations, and like I used his beat to write my song or my lyrics or my verse to, yet that person may have taken a clip or taken a soundbite. Like one of the things that I was experimenting was that sound effect that occurred through my process, which is a lengthy process. And I did, in fact, record and live stream the majority of this process because my creative process might be a little bit different. And I've been playing with computers and training agents, I guess. I have certain personas that I've developed and I've chose as far as within the Suno bot. And I did the voice thing, right? I opened it up to the YouTube, right, to analyze for the voice thing. So I did put my voice into the AI intentionally, not captured specifically for a personification, yet this is important. Definitely give this person a call if you have any special interests or issues. I'm just learning from them. They put this on the YouTube. And it's not pay based, I don't think. And I'm still kind of confused because this is her video on YouTube Player. It just brings up some questions for me, but I'm definitely getting some clarity as far as, you know, what is required as far as showing that creative process. And then of course, because I did, you know, submit 2 poems into the copyright system. Okay, so I did register them. I paid the registration fee, and I may fail or be denied this copyright, and that's okay because I'm a student and I'm learning, and I am maybe bucking the system, but I'm diving deep into my own personal education and creative process because as these tools become available and people are using them, there's some certain aspects that me as a entertainment industry student needs to understand, such as, you know, how the bots are used, all this collaboration and stuff. But for protecting, you know, my works, like some of these contracts that I've watched, actually this very same person discuss about, you know, being, you know, just the details. Just definitely watch it and learn it as much as you can. So identifying human contribution and human output. And so this is where I know for sure I'm kind of in a gray area because I am using my creative energies and my personal personifications to train agents that like the personas that I've created in the Suno, as far as relating to my, like, to take what I hear and what my brain is visualizing and to put that into words, it could take me quite a long time. Whereas that's why I streamed it live and kind of narrated what I was doing. So that, you know, if it does go further, if I do have to, if they're like, well, show us your creative process, I can show the videos to the trademark office. I'm not trying to hide anything about what I did or how I did what I did. It's just there's so many subtle innuendos based on how I interpret and how I view the world at large. Kind of like the camera thing. So anyway, definitely call if you have legal help. Call or text the top music attorney.
Time where someone's like, I was a joint author because you know what? I hired you to write my screenplay, for example, and I gave you the general idea that it should be a screenplay about two people who fall in love and someone breaks the other person's heart. Well, in that
Okay, I'm going to stop right here because there's so many times I've told my story to an author, yet with technology, I'm able to speak my story and it becomes written. So it's fixed once it's written, but it can be edited. And so this is all has to do with like versions and how you could take this poem that I wrote per se and kind of work to massage the agents that I'm using in artificial intelligence to, produce a sound that aligns, that matches the story of the words. So this is kind of where I'm at. That's why I'm watching this, sharing it, because I do want to be transparent, and it is 2025, so it's part of the transparency experiment that I'm doing. I think this person's very smart. And they've got nice hair too. I like red.
Example, the person who then goes and actually writes the script is for sure the copyright owner, right? Because that person took their ideas and put it down, and the original person hiring the writer may not actually be a joint author if all they did is just to give a very, very generic idea. But equally, that's why these cases really are reviewed on a case-by-case basis. And
so that's where I'm at. Okay, so I'm going to cam up now just because Twitch wants me to do video stuff because of watching and listening. So I guess let me just finish this and we'll go on cam for a while. You can watch me brush my hair or whatever while I listen to this.
Anyway, I thought this example was really interesting. So basically, Copyright Office goes in, says, we could talk about it all day on, well, you gave it prompts and then you refined and you did it like 100 times on you continuing to refine. Is that enough for you to be like, I was the author of this AI made thing? And the Copyright Office says, no. But the Copyright Office, as it relates to this, goes, well, this is interesting. This is what's called an expressive input, where you make a human-made thing, okay? And then you ask AI to expand on what you did. Okay, so the prompt was
okay, so here's where I'm at. What if I didn't necessarily specifically ask, but through the interpretation of large language models, I ensued that this voice or this input creates the output. So this is where I'm kind of like in my studies, right? So the AI system produced my final song per se. I call it Muzak, like the radio stuff. Okay, and I put in my rough voices and my rough melodies and said, use this agent that I created as far as like prompt engineering or compounding and stringing activities to basically take my idea, my prompt, and my input to create an output. So this is where the integration of various AIs and communication between AIs, for me as a student of technology, becomes something. Okay, becomes something. So this is, I do want to see this. This is cool. Like we're all lined up together, right? Okay. Anyway, I digress.
A young cyborg woman with roses, flowers coming out of her head, photorealistic, cinematic lighting, 8K, hyper detailed. So this was the human-made drawing. And then what the AI expanded on then is this. And so the Copyright Office goes, well, the final work where we see like the realistic 3-dimension representation of the nose, lips, rosebuds, as well as the application, like all the AI attributions aren't actually copyrightable. So this is one thing I want to make sure you guys are clear on. In this instance, this picture was allowed to proceed to registration, but it was only because the applicant disclaimed, meaning told the Copyright Office, hey, the base drawing is mine, this is human made, and then disclaimed the aspects that were created by AI. So it means that the AI is still not copyrighted, but as a whole, the work can be registered. Does that make sense? Another example might be like a cover song. So you can register a cover song for copyright protection, but you have to tell the Copyright Office what of the cover song you don't own the composition, meaning the other person's words and lyrics, but you own all the stuff you did around that, such as your original production, your original performance if you were the singer. So you own your cover, but there is a portion inside that cover, meaning the composition, that actually belongs to someone else. So you disclaim, you tell the Copyright Office. Now, one of our big takeaways from the last video was just to say that if you do not disclaim your registration, it can get challenged, it can get canceled, and that can be devastating for you if you happen to be in the middle of a lawsuit in this kind of technical.
Okay, I'm not in the middle of a lawsuit. I'm a student. I guess I got challenged. I got asked some questions. I talked about it. I'm trying to be totally transparent, and of course, I can't record everything I do. I can't disclose my entire process, can I? If I'm starting a business, wouldn't that be protected under my business process? So this is where I'm at. So this is how this is how I am understanding it. Like these kids that I watch and these adults that I watch that are using the new technology for mixing and the sounds that are on the thing. And then one of my friends was like, oh yeah, Sony's going to come in and claim all the sounds. Well, how do you monetize that? How do you capture that blockchain of ownership so that the original contributor that you're covering might get some? And I believe the music AI attorney person here, I forget her name, is explaining that. But in Top Music Attorney podcast is explaining that.
Technicality comes up. I'm a litigator, so I can tell you it's a real big deal. So one of the big takeaways from this video is just going to be make sure you tell the Copyright Office any aspect of AI that was contributed to your creative work. And then two other examples that we looked at from the report. One had to do with a comic book that was allowed to proceed to registration by the Copyright Office, and the comic book images had all been created with AI. But human author comes in, takes those images, rearranges it, right? Puts it into a proprietary, order, a new creative thing. And so still, the AI images themselves are not copyright protected, but as included within the comic book itself can proceed to registration. And then another one had to do with a producer who had used AI as a tool to help with a voice recording on a sound recording. So meaning the song was able to actually proceed to registration even though AI had been used because it had been used as a tool. All right, so in summary, purely AI generated works, they're not copyrightable, period. And that's not just here in the US, that's in a whole lot of other countries, which we discussed in the last video. 2, human authorship must be perceptible in the final work. So meaning like with the drawing and the roses coming out of the...
Okay, so here is where I'm at in my brain. So like I have the poem, right? Or I prompt edit to where the poem and words are right. And I use one of my AI agents that I've created, right? To have a certain persona, a certain feel, a certain vibe, a certain instrumentation, a certain style, a certain chord progressions, if you will, involved, a certain vocal necessity. And yeah, I know I'm skirting right at the edge. I'm right at the edge, and that's okay for me because I'm learning. And like one of my mentors has told me to just stop with the AI stuff because I don't really understand I understand, but I can't remember exactly what he said. But basically, that's why I'm streaming this right now, is to kind of understand that, work through what I did in the first couple months here, learning about this process and playing with the tools, and then of course the last month report and all this, as far as I did document my process. So if the copyright office comes in and says, well, hey, explain it more, I can. But it's like a 10-hour video. So I don't know if the copyright office is going to be willing to go through that entire process. But anyway, because like the AI models, they're starting to take my style, my writing style, which is unique, and it's my own verbalization and written compositions, and then take those compositions and restructure. So I compose, I modify with AI, I train agents, and that's how I get my results. So whether or not I'm copyrightable, that's one thing. So I guess I can license and still promote, but I can't hold copyright. I can't like go, oh, you took my stuff and you remixed it, because this is where today's, the youth of today have access to all this content. They have access to mixing tools. They have access, they can play the music in the background and sing along or play along and dance and cover, do basically a cover. That's why I called the song Dogecoin Unit Cover, because it was an experiment and the results of my experimentation. So as I continue my experimentation, are the results of those experimentations protected in any way? Since I am a computer tech, I have spent many years learning how to control computers and manipulate content and use graphic programs. And I'm just using the new programs. So I'm not like trying to claim anything. I just want to be transparent, and I want to understand more than allowing you a clarity to understand. I want to understand. This is my self-learning and teaching. So I'm just chilling here. I'm doing this review, and definitely Top Music Attorney. Go check her out. Check them out. They're probably hopefully a group of attorneys, YouTube plaques, certifications, really hardworking individual. Very good information. Thank you so much for sharing and checking out Top Music Attorney, because that's what I'm doing. I'm kind of reviewing.
Of the lady's head, the human authorship element of that is that the baseline drawing is perceptible in what we see in the final work. So meaning
so the baseline lyrics, which I did use prompt engineering, and I did program that persona, that agent, in my style, and chose the specific styles that I had already spent some time developing. Yes, they're AI based or large language model based, but this is where my exploration brings me.
AKA, that helps in whether your AI created thing can be registered. So although prompting AI alone doesn't get you there, and even prompting AI and revising AI in most instances doesn't get you there, if you can use an expressive input, meaning if you can put something that is your original creation into as part of the AI, that should be able to get you there.
Okay, now this is where I'm looking at my prompt and my previous engagement training my agent, training my AI robotics. So this is where I think that once like my friend does a lot of AI, right? And it's like he does a podcast. He's been doing it for marketing and business and setting up automations. I've even listened to some people talk about, like yesterday when I went and got my new computer, the guy at the computer store is like, yeah, you tell it a story and it starts making trickle drops from that story to prime social media engagement. I also have other friends that are like, you know what, my social media posts that the AI creates get more engagement than I create. Yet it's their creative input, their creative story, they're expressing their insight and their perspective through these prompt engineerings. So this is, I guess, kind of where my learning path is continuing to go. I do digress. I hope this show doesn't go too long. It's a 24-minute video, so I am not exactly sure how long I've been going. Oh, I do have a viewer. Hello, on Twitch. I'm sorry I'm not in the chat room. I'm just kind of reviewing. We haven't gotten to the instructions on how to. It's just kind of been going over, some of the things that came out. If you want to see more, go to the Top Music Attorney in the link. They have tons of stuff relating to music and Top Music Attorney, and you could just tell by the look in the eye that they're serious, they're professional, and they've got their podcast. They even got a little YouTube plaque up here in the corner. So just awesome content from the Top Music Attorney. Definitely check them out. I'm doing my studies, so I'm just gonna try and quit yapping.
Selecting AI generated outputs. So this was authorship by adoption. So meaning like if you get the AI to give you 10 different examples and then you just pick one. So you're like, I adopted it. So that's me being like an author. Nope, that's not going to get you there either. If you significantly modify the AI in some kind of way, like with the comic book example, in some instances that will be enough. And I saw someone comment on the last video, right? And he goes, well, I took my song and I created it through Suno. And then I modified it, right? And then I took it and redid it a bunch of times and I remastered it and I did all this additional stuff on top of it. Is that going to be
Okay, and that to me is an interesting question. Sorry, I'm going to cam out because what I'm seeing and hearing is it was a post integration. It was like I did this and then I modified it. So it'd be like, I'll make this song and then I mix it with the computer. Or maybe I took it and I wrote it out, or had the machine, the AI write the composition of musical sheet music, and then I played it. So this is where that, the after point, which I'm at the middle point, because that's my plan, is to, if I can get protection, is to print it out, pay the software, print it out, and learn the songs. So this is my process. But at the same time, I'm thinking, well, gosh, I put a lot of work into training my agents. Like they're doing a specific thing for me. Like I have set up these automations to do a specific thing. And that kind of makes me think like, okay, I have these synthesizer packs type thing to where I can automatically go, oh, I'm going to use this pack and I'm going to mix out of these settings. So this is kind of where my brain's going. So I gotta listen. I gotta get this show on the road.
Be enough? And even in that example, I go, I'm not sure you got there. The analysis is what are the human-made elements that essentially like transforms your AI creative thing into human author. So the point being, and the office said this, we are to look at these on a case-by-case basis, but also that's why we did the deep dive, so you can check that out when you're done watching this video. All right, so now pro tips. All right, we talk about copyright protection and the additional rights you get by actually getting a federal government registration. We also mentioned the fraudulent websites out there. If anyone's like, hey, I can help you get copyright protection for your stuff by using my service and uploading it to my...
This is super important. Because like a lot of people are making a lot of money. Oh, I'll copyright, I'll add your ISRC and your UPC. And this is where the dynamic, because I'm packaging my first, if they give me registration, I'm going to copy my first album and put it together with a story and an explanation and stickers and graphics and sell the physical item. So this is where I'm at. And I know I have to dig deeper in the legality of it, but this is where my inspiration leads me. So anyway, back to the program. I'm going to try and stay out of it as much as possible, but part of this is my learning process. So I am kind of narrating because the auditory verbalization helps my brain understand it better, and explaining it helps my brain understand it better. So on with the show.
Special proprietary cloud, and I'll get you a certificate and this and that. Please run the other way. The website I'm going to show you, the process I'm going to take you through is the real way of getting a copyright registration.
I bet you money she's going to go to the .gov, but how much money you want to lose? Maybe I watched this video before, and this is the first time, a second read through for me.
But, you know, some of the comments that I saw, which were, you guys are very, very insightful, and I so very appreciate that you are here on this channel. I love nerding out, and I appreciate that there are those of you out in the world that are like me. All right, so if you, for example, have something that is purely AI, and you're like, well, what do I do, though, from a legal standpoint? Here's some creative lawyering on this. There are other claims that you could potentially seek against someone, even if you could not proceed with copyright infringement. So meaning there's a legal theory called unjust enrichment. So if someone comes and they just like steal your, let's say, poster idea that you made using AI, if someone makes money off of your thing you created, you can at least assert a number of claims. You can seek unjust enrichment if someone came and interfered with a deal that you, because here's the thing, pursuant to platforms like Suno, they say you own what you created through their platform. So if that's the case, then you have a legal claim that you own this thing, this digital asset. Even if you don't have copyright, you still have other rights, right? That's what I would argue. So in any case, there's theories like interference with contract, interference with business opportunity. So someone comes and usurps your business opportunity by stealing what you had created. Or I've had someone sell a music catalog, and within that music catalog, there were AI created music videos. So that's something that was absolutely disclosed. But, you know, for example, if you have a contract, you could have a bad faith claim. So I want you to know that there are creative lawyer ways to handle situations where someone has come and taken advantage of you. And if you have such a case, feel free to reach out to Delgado Entertainment Law. I love this complicated new stuff. So as promised, I'm going to show you as far as dialing through the Copyright Office, how to do this, some things to keep in mind. Let's go. So you want to go to copyright.gov if someone has a website and they're saying they're going to help you.
Okay, who's going to pay me? I thought I had a bet out there. So what I'm doing, I'm pausing right now to take notes, and I'm going to explain agent training, input, model setup, training, persona setup, and then a video of process. So that's what I gotta, these are my notes. I gotta write back. I'm gonna do a double submission because I did submit. I may have made some mistakes, but I'm going to clarify this to the copyrightoffice.gov and let them make their decision. Is my programming of the agents, is my training in the input and the language model, knowing that it's taking my style so that I could use, is me setting up these personas as far as within the software. And I recorded that. That was part of the first couple months that I was into this study, because I did want, that's why I call it the transparency experiment, because I did want people to see what I did and understand my process, at least slightly. I can't explain everything that's going on in my head. And it's kind of cool because here I am in the corner on the one side, she's on the other side, and we're both looking at the copyright website, right? And this, it looks like it's El Española. So that's good too. But as far as my creative process, I'm an artist. So I want to continue on my business idea art, right? I want to understand how that if anyone is using AI to basically set up a certification. My plan is to create a certification with all these different steps involved, so that if someone wants to take my certification course and then submit their works to the .gov, to the copyright, they have at least an outline through me that, I've created my process of ensuring that these details that the top music attorney is explaining here, to show the Copyright Office how an individual is using that computer program, the AI, the automation, so that when they do submit and pay the fees for copyright, that everything is kosher per se. Everything is correct. Everything's legal. Everything is done in a way that the Copyright Office can see transparently. Oh, they did it this way and this way. There's their inputs and there's the results. Let us grant copy protection for that. So that's where I'm at. I do want to blossom. And my mentors did say, yeah, stay away from the AI, which is fine. As far as that aspect, other than what I've explained, using the automation to write the actual sheet music and have a recorded musician play it. So this is again throwing another complexity into the mix. But this is where my brain goes. So if I write a poem and I train the bots and I train all this, and I'm like using my personas that I developed and trained within that other. So I'm layering multiple different types of software or automation to get the results, and then take those results and use again more automation to print it out in written form, readable form, so that a musician can take that composition and play it. Now, say they play it and do it under contract, and they create the album as a musician, a performing artist. Now, where do we go? Because the song itself may not be registered. And as far as like, I'm just looking at Weird Al Yankovic, parody, right? So parody, you don't need per se permissions, but Weird Al was ethical. So he would always tell and ask the original artist, hey, I want to make a parody of your song, which in today's day and age in marketing, it can be a good thing. Gosh, Weird Al, oh, I've never heard the real original version of Gangster Paradise, but I've heard Amish Paradise and I really dug. I thought Amish Paradise hit right. I would like to hear about Gangster Paradise. And so you would go back to the original artist. I don't even know who. I know Weird Al did Amish Paradise. So this is where my brain goes. This is where my creative thought process goes. El derecho, el de autor en español. So Spanish, English translation on the Copyright Gov. And I believe they have, with Googlebot, you can translate to any language, because America has no language, right? Most people speak English. A lot of people talk Spanish. A lot of different languages mixed up here in this United States. But anyway, I digress. Back to now that she's doing this, I'm gonna allow the next 10 minutes to kind of play through. Okay, so we are at 1333, and I'm gonna try and go and not talk about what I did. As far as to the end of this video at 2431. So we got about 12 more minutes of video, and who knows how long I'm going to yap about it. But this is my study for the day, my morning. Got coffee here. I wasn't going to stream, but then I thought, you know what? I can do a review because I'm out of the DJ program, right? Because I was in the DJ program and they don't allow reacts in the DJ program per se. That's what they said. At least that's how I understood it. So I'm going to follow the rules on the Twitch platform. And you Google, they allow the reacts and stuff. I'm not exactly sure how music copy protection works. I have uploaded some works to Suno that are unregistered. And I did upload one that is in the process of registering. So this is my transparency. And this is why, like I said, why am I doing this? Because I want to be on the cutting edge of this industry. I want to be able to take these ideas that are up here in the ether and do my thing. But I also want to help other artists take their ideas that they're using this automation AI and protect themselves. And I think that what is basically the bottom line is, how I understand it, is you show the Copyright Office how you use the AI, and they'll make the final determination. And like I said, I think I'm bringing some things into the equation that aren't definitely laid down in stone, as far as pre-training agents, pre-training input prompts, modifying the prompts as so needed, and then submitting and finalizing. So this is all part of my exploration, my education. So from the looks of it, I'm not going to get like, oh, you're a criminal because you tried to register this and you didn't do it in the right way. It's just I may not be granted those blossoming rights, which is fine because it was only two poems. So I'm not like tripping. I have hundreds of poems. I've been writing since, gosh, poetry and limericking and just rhyming. I do like the automation that takes my verbiage and puts it down in closed caption, because this allows me a way to track and put down and hopefully protect some of my creative innovations. I give a lot of them away because I'm a giving guy. I want to get my van running and go do parties. And so I got to get the DJ license for the mobile DJ and karaoke machine. Anyway, I digress. Back to how to do this.
Register your copyright, and it's not this website, beware. Okay, so you scroll down right here, it's register your works. And then you want to use this right here, log into our ECO registration system. And then you'll put in your secret sauce credentials or just set up an account. So here on the left side, it shows the different types of applications that you can file. Just to try to simplify this, if you do a group of unpublished works, you can do up to 10 if you have not actually released your creative thing. But there is a cap at 10, okay? And then the filing fee is going to be, I think it's $65 as of now, and then $85 if it's unpublished. So, you know, strategically you might save a little bit of money waiting until your work or works are published, meaning released. But it's so important that when your stuff gets released, you need to make sure to register right away. This impacts your statutory damages and all kinds of things. So very important. Most of the time we are doing either a standard application. You technically can do like an album. So you do a bunch of filings if it's the same collection of works, if that makes sense. Or they actually have an application for that, which is register a certain group of unpublished works. So in this scenario, I'm just going to do a standard application. So let's pretend you used AI and you have a song, you have a picture, maybe cover art, you have a poster, maybe you have a script. All right, so through this process, we are going to provide all the needed information, pay the fee, and we need to give the Copyright Office an actual copy of our creative thing. All right.
Okay, here's what I'm going to do. You got the link, right? You got the link. I went all through all this in January or whatever on my own self-teaching and learning. So that's how it ended. And as far as none of this, what I'm about to play is registered. I'm just kind of going through some of my songs that I did use Suno on. And you know, with the prompt engineering and all this, you can see I'm starting to get some views. This poem, The Summerland Kids, I'm still working on it as far as additional verses and I guess finding and refining the thing. And as far as like, I did make some stuff from automation. So this is the one. This is the one that I did register or is in the process of registering. So for the purpose of Twitch, I don't want to cause any problems if I do. This one, it has been released, is AI, is licensed through Suno. It's not one of my best ones. And we've been playing Waldo's Wandering Path, and I haven't got this all set up, but I do have to write this letter here soon. And I played them all pretty much on Twitch already and YouTube already. So I'm not like doing anything out of the ordinary. And I am coming up on the last 5 minutes. So thanks for watching. If you've been watching, thanks for your watch all the way towards this closing segment. And if you missed part of it, I believe it will be on Twitch. It will definitely be on YouTube, although I may be making it private. Again, this has kind of been my process. If you catch it live, you get all the little tidbits. If you can check it out before I make it private, well, that's awesome too. But definitely check out this. That is the video I'm watching. So that I have reference as far as like how I was taught to reference my sources when I went to school. And let's play out the song and get out of here. It's about done for the day. It's about a wrap. Again, I'm gonna do two of them. I'm gonna do Echoes of Yesterday. This was like one of my favorite, and it was a creation using a lot of pretext setup as far as the automation and some. I did use quick prompts, and I haven't done a final edit. But I think it's cool how it is. I think the message comes across as far as the verse, the poetry, and that intention, that creative spark, as I call it. So anyway, Echoes of Yesterday, version 6 or something. And this is an absolutely original poem from me. No editing on the verse by the bot, merely an overlay of automated sounds based on my agent training as far as the personas. So if that clarifies things, great. Otherwise, enjoy the robot music.
Is that a title to a poem or a song? If you think not, you could be wrong. I'll find a groove, you all will come along. Might you remember from the echoes of yesterday? If it takes me all night long, I'll find the beat that comes on strong. Each one who hears will sing along, moving forward with the echoes of yesterday. With tomorrow always a day away, each moment passing, each moment new. Every tomorrow is an echo of yesterday. The above poem was composed by me in the process of writing this post. Interesting thing, I will replay and listen to the words and edit and rewrite. Each moment passing, put up the good fight. From the early hours of morning to the end of the night, every moment an echo.
And that's the show for the day. I still haven't brushed my hair. I did get to my beard, and I did get this part brushed. As far as down to the nitty gritties. And then I might have girlfriend braid me out today and get the war braids going. Might just let it dry all floofy like this. I do like the floofy look. Anyway, appreciate the watch, appreciate the like. I hope you learned about the process, or at least the context of the process of filing for protection. Definitely go check out the music attorney. I forget the name, whatever. I left the link. You know what? I'm going to do one more song for the outro, just because this one is still in work. I have a more extended version that I will upload eventually. But let's just because I am doing the Waldo thing, the wandering Wadlow. Me and Wadlow are looking for Waldo, and you never know where we're going to find him. But I do have him here on the playlist, And so let's just go out here. Yes, let's do it like this. Road.
Among the stripes and hue so bright, in a sea of faces out of sight, where's he going? What's in his mind? All those steps are undefined. He strolls through streets and hidden lanes, among the people and the plains. In the crowd, he's just a blur, yet in our hearts, so wander. Whoa.
Come on, Papa. Play it. Stupid thing. Just give me glitch pattern. Anyway, glitch pattern, alternate universe engaged. We'll talk to you later on the space-time continuum. And if you don't know, you may never know unless you go look and learn and do your best. Oh, look at my beard. It's just so sparkly today. Let me get a good beard shot. Sunbeard shot, right? Sunbeard? All right, that's it for the day. Have a wonderful Wednesday.